Hey geeks, welcome back. So, continuing with my series of Whatnot comics that I bought on Whatnot. So this will be part 2 of that video. And we're going to open up the big box. This box, I've already pre-opened it, just the top of it. I haven't unwrapped the comics. The guy packaged it pretty well. The box was much bigger than the content of the comics. But the way the guy did it, like he put one of these, actually, because I've got it right here. One of these. It's empty, but he used it as a reinforcement of the larger box to protect the other comics that were deep within it. So that was pretty cool. So I've got them here. Quite a substantial haul. It's magnificent 3D. Let's look at the volumetrics of this. Okay. Got to deal with the tape. There's going to be a lot of, I know there's going to be a lot of Thor in these. That's kind of how this guy got me hooked. He was laying down lots, 4 and 5 issue lots of Thor. And he was starting them at like $5, I think. Then he was throwing down a bunch of dollar books. I think of all of the sellers that I dealt with, he had the best deals. And he's been pretty active since then. I get alerts. I haven't bought anything else, but he's been pretty active. Let's see, where do I want to start here? I'm going to break this into a couple of different piles. And they're kind of thrown in here randomly, so we'll just break them in half and then see what we got. Alright, this will be the first stack. We'll put this other, and throw a few more on there. Throw a few more on there. Alright. Yeah, I like, one thing I've noticed that they do is they pack them cover to back, if you know what I mean. Back, then front cover, back, then front cover to keep them flat. Works better keeping them flat instead of just all like front cover, because the binding, the spines will begin to push the comics upward. Okay. Y'all ready to go through a boatload of comics here? Let's see what we got. Thor, number 332. I think these were mostly, from what I recall, bronze. I don't think there was any silver. I think it was all pretty much bronze. Let's see. Don Perlin on the pencils on this one. Issue number 332, June of 1983. I think eventually the run that I was snapping up makes its way into the Simonson era. It's the Simonson era that I was collecting as a kid. So 83, probably was collecting these around 83. Some of these might be duplicates for me. We'll see. This one I definitely have. Issue 379. Fin Fang Foom. With this great Simonson cover. Yeah. Yeah. And they did that title logo change. So, yeah, it's a great cover. You know, people are like, why is Fin Fang Foom fighting Thor? Well, you know, supervillains pop up everywhere. It's not just a... Well, he was an Iron Man nemesis, right? Initially. Issue 340. Another great Simonson cover. You got some Beta Ray Bill action in this one. Yeah. Let's take a look at some Simonson. And this is when Simonson got on my radar, and then he did Star Slammers, and I was all over that when DC was that was a DC graphic novel, wasn't it? There's some early Star Slammers out there too. I think there's a couple of permutations of that graphic novel. A lot of it is some of the early stuff he was doing, I think when he was in art school. And then I guess the latter period, you know, he was either self-publishing it or it was with one of the indie publishers. But yeah, there's a lot of Star Slammers out there. And then I've got issues where it was resurrected in DC, I think after the graphic novel. I found a few of those out in the wild too. Oh yeah, here we go. Beautiful artwork. Beautiful artwork. I was a huge fan of Simonson's. I mean, still am. But I'm thinking at that period of time, because of this book, because of his run on Thor, that he kind of became my favorite, my new favorite at that period of time. Always will love Kirby. But I think by this point, Kirby was, you know, over at Pacific Comics doing Captain Victory and Silver Star. But, gosh, Simonson was just firing on all cylinders when he was on Thor, man. Just good stuff, man. Good stuff. Oh, dreaded tape. Bastard. Yeah, these are going to be rebagged and boarded. But I appreciate that they're in bags at least. Issue number 367. More awesome Simonson. Gotta love Thor with the beard. $365. It says, this issue, Thor leaps into a new secret identity. It's not the frog, is it? When was the frog? I don't know if I have the frog issues or not. Are those key issues? I'm not like super educated on what keys are. I mean, you know, there's obvious ones. You can see slabbed ones, you know. But keys from like the Bronze Age, you know, I'm not that up to date on those so much. Issue 363. $362. These are all in pretty good shape too, man. I was getting some steals on this, man. Crazy prices. $361. I mean, the Simonson covers too are just, this is so good, man. Legendary run, right? Legendary run. Issue 360. Really, probably the best run since Kirby, you know. 359. I remember this cover. 343, The Hand of Death. 342. There's the Frog. 364. So is this a key issue? Because everybody talks about it. I don't know. I'll have to look up and see what it's worth. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's in good shape, though. I guess it'd probably be like a very fine. Issue 313. I think I've got this issue too. I remember it used to annoy me so much with this ad, and it went on for like almost a year, and Marvel just slammed it up on the top of every comic book that they published, and I was like, you're taking up so much cover space. Oh, and this one too with the Spiderman show. You know, got to get that advertising in there. This is issue 314. Ooh, Drax the Destroyer. This is one of my favorite covers here. Issue 315. Thunder God and the Bi Beast. Win a 10-speed racer. 316 with Iron Man of Beasts and Things. 317 Chaos at Canaveral. Issue 300, special 300th issue. Pretty cool cover. I like how you got the Unimind in this one from the Eternals. Keith Pollard cover. Yeah. 300 issues, man. That was a big deal. Issue 355. Another great Simonson cover. It's too much Thor, man. I gotta drink some coffee. Issue 354. Get old. Is that Hela? She is Death. Issue 353. The finale of the Surtur saga. Issue 352. Reed Richards and the Vision, Beta Ray Bay. So you got members of both the Avengers and the Fantastic Four. Is that Heimdall there in the back? This I do not have until now. Issue 435. I have no idea what's going on here. Never saw Thor wield a massive weapon before. This has got to be 90s. If there is ever a 90s gun, that's a 90s gun. He may even have pouches. I don't know. Yeah. This was 1991. So they were doing the 50-year promotion down there in the right there in the corner. It's a cool cover, but I have no idea what was going on in the book at that point. I was out of the game. So I'm happy that I've got some of these early 90s Thors now. There's a lot of typeset on this cover. Issue 438. The Thor of the future walks the streets of today. You know what? Actually, let's open one of these up, because I don't know who was on these books at this point. Let's see if there's some classic 90s art styles in here. Tom DeFalco and Ron Friends. Plot, pencils, and script. Al Milgrom, finished art. Mike Rockwitz is the colorist. B.K. Joyce doing the letters. Yeah. That hair is definitely 90s. Let's see, I'm trying to find a double spread page. Here we go. Yeah, it looks 90s. It feels 90s, but it also feels kind of 80s too. Love these cosmic panels here. Definitely with the Kirby influence. Got some Kirby crackle in it, some cosmic Kirby. So, yeah, no, cool. Great shape too. And catch up and see what was happening with this book in the 90s. These have backs on them, which is good. The Thor War. And then we got an older issue thrown in the mix here, issue 277. Nice. What a great cover. Issue 432, Giant Size Special, celebrating the 350th appearance of the Mighty Thor. Thor versus Loki. At death do we part. Man, Loki's looking pretty jacked on this cover. Huh. Not the Loki we're used to today. 434, Alone Against Asgard. Captain America, Sif, Balder. Okay, cool. Good yellow background on that cover. Issue 430 with Ghost Rider, the God, the Ghost, and the Guilty. That's a cool title for a story. Issue 437, Quasar. Plus we got some Tales of Asgard in the back. The Enchantress is in this one too. All right. Issue 382, Giant Size 300th Anniversary issue. Another great Simonson. This one's got see that 1987, the year of the reader. You got a D&D ad on the back. Thor Mania today. $381. $380. Wow, what a great cover. What a great cover, man. $378. Another great cover. They're all good covers. You'd have to have like you'd be hard pressed to like vote for the best covers of this Simonson run. $377. You know, and look, what is it? The last 3 or 4 covers we've looked at, no typeset. You know, no verbiage other than the title, which is one of the things I liked about that book. It's just, here's a visual, you know, that's how we're going to hook you with the visual. Like, we don't even need to put words up. $376. $375. $374. X Factor, or what's left of them. $372. Battle in the Shadow of the Zaniac. The Zaniac. Sal Buscema cover. Yeah, I definitely don't have this one. I don't think I was collecting Thor at this point. This is probably like right on the cusp of after I got out of the game. 371. You see on the back here is a ad for the Marvel's new universe, which I think was kind of their answer to the Dark Knight Returns success over at DC. Issue 370. The Thunder God Challenge is the ultimate foe. Oh. Is that the one above all? I don't know. $369. Yes, I did get a huge run of Thor in this. There's actually more here than I remember buying. $392. Got some Daredevil in this one. Some solid bronze. $238. $391. Mongoose Spiderman. $341. Is that more Fin Fang Foom? Issue 410. She-Hulk, Doctor Doom versus Doctor Doom. Hercules too. Since this is open, let's take a look and see what kind of action we got in here. DeFalco and Friends, words, pictures, and plot. Sinnott does the finished art. I saw a splash page in here. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah, I'm down with that. Some good 4-panel, man, on both pages. Nice. Nice. Kirby style. It's funny because these pages, some of the art looks different here. So different hands were in this book. Different hands are in this book. Still looks good though. All kinds of action in that one. 408. Mongoose and Hercules still hanging around. $413. Appearance by Doctor Strange. Let's see what we got going on in here. DeFalco, Ron Friends, Senate. Let's see if we can get some action pages. There's Doctor Strange. Love that ink. Love that lighting, coloring, and the ink. That's pretty cool. They did a nice job on that. Looks like he's hanging out in the Doctor Strange Sanctum Sanctorum. Is it Sanctorium or Sanctorum? Sanctorum. Who is that dude? Who's this ape-like dude in the New Wave glasses? That ain't Hank. Hank the Beast. No, that ain't him because he's not blue. Oh, I have to read it and find out. But that looks like a cool character, though. 413, continuing that story in Doctor Strange. Actually, did we just... Is this a double? It is a double. Interesting. But look at this. Here's 413. And here's 413. Different colors in the Thor logo. Actually, slightly different coloring in both. And I don't think it's fading. I don't think it's like, natural fit. I think it's actually register coloring that are different. Huh. Interesting. This one is a $2 sticker on it from Forbidden Planet, which I've been to Forbidden Planet in London, in central London. It's a really cool comic book store. It's smaller than it appears on the outside, though. But I mean, it's just everything is so jammed up in London. It's like New York, but they have a ton of comics, but memorabilia too. Huge selection of memorabilia, action figures, and so forth. And what I really liked about it, though, is there was a lot of stuff there that I never saw in the States. Obviously, since it's in London, so there was a ton of European comics, but also a lot of comics that are published in the UK that don't really make it here to America. Like there's like a lot of Dan Dare and stuff. Robo GIs? Is that what it's called? It's about the robot GIs. I forget the name of it, but they're I bought a couple of hardcovers of those collections, and I never saw any of those in the States ever. Let's see, issue 349. Issue 333. Got some Dracula action in there. Looks like you got a hold of Sif. All right, that's it for the first stack. Now let's get into the second stack. Issue 296. Got a Pollard cover. Issue 223. God battles God. Fire sword versus hammer, and one must fall. 25 cents. Some solid bronze here. Yeah, I'm trying to get these older issues, going back even to Kirby, but that will have to wait till I build up my financial war chest for those. Issue 222, a 20 center. It's in pretty good shape. I need to board it though. Now we're getting into some solid bronze, man. Issue 207, special Haunted Halloween issue. Jeepers. I gotta swig some coffee on that one. 305. $2.95. 40 center. Beginning the quest for the Ring of Power. Ring of Power. Some Tolkienish stuff going on. Issue 293. Check it out. This dates it. Star Trek the Motion Picture, now playing at a theater near you. Underrated movie. In fact, I have a video planned for that movie that I'm going to get around to one of these days. Issue 290. El Toro Rojo. Thor would be an excellent WWE wrestler. Perfect for that. 286. Is that the Eternals? Yep, it sure is. Oh, and Crow, the Deviant. There's another 23rd Century Odyssey now. Star Trek, the motion picture. They were really pumping that movie up. Highly anticipated back then. 256. 30 center. Issue 339. Simonson. See down here? Warning, Surgeon Generals have, let's just say, warning, Surgeon Generals have generally determined that Assistant Editors Month is dangerous to your health. So I don't know what Marvel had going on that month, but they were having some fun with it. Got an issue of the Amazing Spider-Man to change. Let's change it up a little bit and throw some Amazing Spider-Man in there. I probably got this because it's a McFarlane issue. I don't have really any of the McFarlane Spider-Man. I wasn't in the game then. Oh yeah, this is Todd McFarlane all the way. So, it got tossed out there and I was like, all right, I'll grab it. I think it was $1. I'm sure it would flip for more than that. I wanted, call me stupid, but I don't know much about McFarlane's run on Spider-Man, or really McFarlane for that matter. I'm not like a big fan of Spawn. I don't know, I can't get into it. It just doesn't appeal to me. I got nothing against Todd McFarlane. I think he's a excellent interview and clearly an astute business person. So I don't know. But I grabbed it because I was like, well, let me check and see what all this, what all the hubbub is about, with McFarlane, because this is where he got known from my understanding. So I'll bag and board it, but I'll read it. In fact, it looks like I got another one of these. This is 326. Was he on it then? No, this is Colleen Doran, David Michelin writer. So I was a big Spider-Man fan when I was first getting into comics when I was a kid, but even to this day, though, I Spider-Man is another one of these properties where I feel like Marvel has just watered it down so much, like they did with the X-Men, that I don't know. I can't get into it. It just doesn't appeal to me. I think they've actually done better with the movies than they have the book, in my opinion, for what that's worth, which really isn't much. Not worth much. But, it's just I almost feel like guilty about it, But I like what I like. Maybe one day I'll get into it. I don't know. I might read that McFarlane issue and be like, oh my God, I got to collect all the McFarlane Spider-Mans. Okay. I mean, but I did buy back in the day, when there were the really, really early trade paperbacks coming out. With Spider-Man, the Lee and Ditko stuff, yeah, I've got those, and it was awesome, but sort of as Spider-Man kind of matured through the era, I just, I don't know, I just lost interest in it, and I think now it's just so watered down with all the, with Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales and Venom and Carnage and the whole Spider-Verse thing and just all that. I don't need another. It's another multiverse. I can't keep up. There's too many multiverses. I think that's an issue that needs to be addressed. There's just too many. How many multiverses can I keep up with? Moon Knight #1. I'll get off my soapbox and show you some Moon Knight. This is Mark Spector, Moon Knight. So issue #1. I have the original Moon Knights. I think I've got like issue 1 through 28 or something like that. Definitely into the 20s, maybe into the 30s. So this new iteration of Moon Knight, don't have it, so I grabbed it. I've been grabbing Marvel Fanfares when I find them. I have like the first 5 issues of Marvel Fanfare, so. And it was interesting. I mean, it was on Baxter paper. Marvel at the time was really, really amping it up. It's like, okay, this is kind of our really artsy showcase, high quality book, high quality writing, high quality artwork, high quality paper. And so I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. It cost a little more, than the regular floppies because it wasn't on newsprint. The coloring was superior, I think. So Marvel Fanfare ran, when I got back into looking at comics, I was surprised at how long Marvel Fanfare ran. And so I've been picking up, this is a Mignola, I think, Mignola cover with PCR. Who is PCR? I don't know, but it's a cool cover. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, that's Namor and Submariner. I don't know who the female is though. So, yeah, I grab them when I find them. Here's another one. Issue 24. P. Craig Russell. That's another fantastic artist, man. P. Craig Russell. What an excellent draftsman he is. Issue 39. And some Hawkeye action on there. Issue 41. It's a good painted cover. Dave Gibbons, 1988. Got an issue of Battlestar Galactica, issue number 2. I'm pretty sure I'm not pretty sure. I'm positive I have this issue in my vault. This is in good shape, though. Let's see. Roger McKenzie on the script. Ernie Colon on the art and letters. Actually, I think I have this in the Treasury-sized edition. I think they took the first 5 issues or so and printed them in a Treasury-size edition. You can get a shot of the Galactica there. Yeah, at the time when these came out, it was just kind of like, all right, well, Marvel does every TV and film adaptation, pretty much. That's coming down the pike. But these are valued now. People are collecting them, and I think maybe, if I may foray into a little bit of speculatory territory here, with the new reboot that's coming from Sam Ishmael, who created the fantastic series Mr. Robot. These interest in these might pop up a little bit more. So I don't mind having a double. That's why I bought issue number 3 too. This is a cool cover. This is a good cover. Not super excited about the artwork in these. Some people, I don't know, might be hardcore Ernie Colon fans, but I even as a kid, I was like, I probably would have been happier if they had gotten like Simonson to do it. I feel like Colon kind of tries to be a sort of Simonson cross between him and like Gil Kane. It's not bad art by any means, especially if you look at some of these modern books, but I don't know. I just felt like maybe he wasn't the correct artist for Battlestar Galactica, not really knowing who the correct artist would be or should be, but I would know it if I saw it, which I think that's how most comic book people are. Issue number 4. Now this is a cool cover. That's a great cover. This issue, I know I have this issue because I remember that cover because it is such a good cover. Oh, and the Thor pops up again. Issue 356. Kind of a humorous. That could be a meme. That could be a meme today. Somebody meme that. Make that a meme. 357. $358. Great Beta Ray Bill cover there. Thor Annual number 12. Double-sized issue as usual. Thor Annual number 11. That's a cool cover. Annual number 10. In the Clutches of the God Eater. 37-page epic, baby. That's right. I want my comics to be 37 to 80 pages. Annual number 13. Mephisto. Issue 309. Issue 310. More Mephisto. Issue 311. Got some social commentary in that issue. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Issue 312. That's the end. That's it for those. Before I go, one addendum. I watched the movie The Green Knight last night. Good movie. I liked it a lot. I knew it. I've heard a lot of people are like, oh, it sucked. But I think those are people who are expecting it to be Excalibur. First of all, nothing can be Excalibur. Second of all, it was pretty clear from the trailers when that movie first came out that it wasn't going to be Excalibur. So I went in knowing that I wasn't going to get, a real like action-filled sword and sorcery. There's definitely a lot of sorcery in it, and magic and witchcraft and so forth. But you're not going to be like seeing big sword battles in this movie. That's not what it's about. It's different. It's more of a spiritual film, if anything. So I did enjoy it. I liked it. I thought the soundtrack was excellent. I thought the cinematography was excellent, and the acting was superb. So if you haven't seen it yet, I recommend it. I think it's a movie that comic book fans would enjoy. So in fact, I can see perhaps a study of that film being something that could inspire someone who's making a certain type of comics. So anyway, if you see it, go ahead and send me a comment on it. If you comment about anything else on this particular video, I would appreciate it. I appreciate any likes or subscribes and shares. That was a ton of comics that we just whisked through. I'm glad I was able to keep it under 45 minutes. I thought it was going to be like an hour and a half. But my goal was to not talk as much this time and just run through the covers and show everybody this huge block that I bought. I have one more Whatnot box. It's not very big, but I'm going to save that for another video. Until then, stay geek.